Hey students, it's Mrs. Poe. Today we are going to be reading a nonfiction book, a true story. It's called The Emperor's Egg by Martin Jenkins. Down at the very bottom of the world, there's a huge island that's almost completely covered in ice. It's called Antarctica, and it's the coldest, windiest place on Earth. And here's our picture showing us where Antarctica is. The weather's bad enough there in the summer, but in the winter it's really terrible. It's hard to imagine anything actually living there. But wait, what's that shape over there? It can't be. Yes, here's the shape. It's a penguin. It's not just any old penguin either. It's a male emperor penguin, the biggest penguin in the world. And he's doing a very important job. He's taking care of his egg. Male emperor penguins can get about 4 feet tall, and the females are smaller. He didn't lay the egg himself, of course. His mate did that a few weeks ago. But here's the egg right here. But very soon afterward, she turned around and she waddled off into the sea. That's where the female emperor penguins spend most of their winter swimming about, getting as fat as they can, eating as much as they can, and generally having a very nice time, as far as we can tell. Emperor penguins eat mainly fish and squid and tiny little shrimp-like animals called krill. Which leaves the father penguin stuck on the ice with his egg. Here's his egg. The most important thing about egg sitting is to stop your egg from getting cold. Inside the egg, a penguin chick is starting to grow. If the egg gets cold, the chick will die. That means it has to be kept off the ice, of course, and out of the wind. And what better way to do that than to rest it on your feet and tuck it right up underneath your tummy, which is just what the father penguin does. And that's how he will stay for 2 whole months, until his egg is ready to hatch. Can you imagine it? Standing in the freezing cold for 2 months with an egg at your feet? Oh my goodness. Female emperor penguins lay 1 egg in May or June, which is the beginning of winter in Antarctica. That's the beginning of summer for us. What's more, there's nothing for a father penguin to eat on the land. So that means he goes 2 whole months without dinner and an egg at his feet. I don't know about you, but I couldn't go that long without dinner. And because he's egg sitting, he can't go off to the sea to feed. He doesn't get breakfast, he doesn't get lunch, and he doesn't get any snacks. But I'd be very, very miserable. Luckily, the penguins don't seem to mind too much. They have thick feathers and lots of fat underneath their skin to keep them warm. And when it gets really, really cold and windy, they snuggle up, look at all these penguins, together, and they shuffle their feet over the ice, and they make a great big huddle. Most of the time, the huddle trudges along very slowly, but sometimes when the penguins get to particularly slippery slope, look what happens. They slide down on their tummies, pushing themselves along with their flippers, always remembering to take care of their egg and trying hard not to bump into each other. It says, and that's how the father penguin spends his winter, until one day he hears a chip, chip, chip. His egg is starting to hatch. It takes a day or so, but then finally, one little egg cracks open and out pops a penguin chick. Now, the father penguin has 2 jobs to do. He keeps the chick warm, and he makes sure that he feeds him. So cute. The chick is only about 6 inches tall, which is about as big as our book. And that is pretty small to keep him warm. But on what? The chick is too small to be taken off the sea to catch food, and it can't be left on the ice. Well, deep down in the father penguin's throat, there's a pouch where he makes something of a little milk, and that's what he feeds to his hungry chick. The father penguin can make only enough milky stuff to feed his chick for a couple of weeks. But just as he's about to run out, a dot appears on the horizon, and it gets closer and closer, and oh yes, it's Mom. She starts trumpeting hello, and the father penguin is trumpeting back hello, and the chick whistles. The racket goes on for hours, and it really does sound as if they're extremely pleased to see each other. Every adult penguin has its own special call, kind of like a fingerprint. Chicks have their own special whistle too. As soon as things have calmed down, the mother penguin is sick right into her chick's mouth. Yuck, you may think. Yum, says the chick, and he gobbles it down. It's mother's turn to take care of the chick now, while father sets off to the sea for a well-earned meal of his own. About time, too. And that is the end of our story, The Emperor's Egg.